Profanity Nation.
Yeah, it's the new era of man for some old school fans with a new school brand. We got money on the mic with the plan in hand. And Stat Pat to his left, they go hand in hand. And to the right, we got Simpster, he putting it down. It's the Profanity Nation, we running the town, yeah.
It's the Profanity Nation.
Profanity Nation.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Profanity Nation podcast, where we are the voice of the professional fan. As you can see, we are in our new studio. Money Mike is with me. Stat Pat can't be with us today, but Money Mike, how are you doing?
Man, you know what? I'm feeling pretty good, but these Lakers are killing me, man.
Yeah, there's definitely some questions with the Lakers, right?
Yeah, listen, a whole lot of questions with them because, like, they're not even being competitive, and I don't understand that. Like, we have all these name brand players, and we're not being competitive.
Like getting off to a slow start is one thing, but this is kind of scary.
It is because, you know, I believe that you have to construct a team to and have certain strengths at certain categories versus them put an all-star team together. And I feel like that's kind of like what we've done, and you know, it's only 2 games. It's only 2 games, so I'll say that
it's only 2 games exactly. Okay, well, if you watch the show, if you watch the Profanity Nation podcast, and you know we always start our episodes with the man himself, our buddy, and he gives us all the great advice. Marco Nunez. Marco, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining us.
I'm doing well. How's everybody doing?
We're doing really well.
You know what? NBA season started, man. We're not doing no fantasy football. I need to figure out when these players going to get back in the court because maybe that's the reason why we 0-2. I know it's no time to panic, but I am annoyed. So I want to ask you about a couple of injuries. You know, we got Taylor Horton Tucker. He has a right thumb. He has no timeline on that. I know he's right-handed. I know it's the thumb. I know the thumb controls a whole lot of stuff. But I know also, like, Kobe and other players, they was able to wrap a thumb, wrap other fingers and possibly be able to play and get feel and touch. You're laughing at me. You're probably gonna say it's a thumb. You can't do that, right?
No, I'm kind of laughing a little bit because you're comparing Kobe with other players.
Thank you. That's exact. I wrote down. I'm all fair to compare to Kobe. That was my next question to you, Marco. Is it even fair to use that as a point of reference?
But that's my standard, though. So.
Oh my goodness!
I get it, and I think that's one thing about Laker fans that we're a little spoiled because we've had Kobe, and we've had that Kobe. Kobe kind of has set the standard. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you that should be the standard as a Laker, as a Laker player. If you're an athlete with the Lakers, there's some, I don't want to say responsibility, but that comes when you put on the uniform, right?
Right.
Kobe's, it's a standard. Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that's the standard, and the standard usually comes up higher than any other team. Now, I'm not trying to knock other teams down, but it is what it is. When you're a Laker fan, or when you're a Laker player, and you throw on that jersey, you throw on those shorts, and you walk onto that court, you're expected to elevate your game, elevate your attitude, and sometimes elevate your pain threshold.
Pain threshold and strength.
Right. Or just go to another team where their standard is there,
Well, but there's got to be a difference, right, Marco? I mean, if you have a rookie coming in and he has a thumb injury versus Kobe coming in with a thumb, Kobe dictates if he's going to play with that injury or not, where the rookie may not even have that choice. Is that correct?
Yes and no. I mean, to some extent, there's athletes, and whenever we work with, there's athletes where we have to kind of encourage them a little bit and give them a little kick to the behind. Hey, you're okay. Let's go ahead and go that way. And then you have the other spectrum, the other side, where you have athletes where you're like, hey, you know what? I need you to slow down. We need to think about ahead of us. And Kobe was one of those guys that we kind of sometimes had to pace him at some times. Otherwise, he would just kind of go crazy type of thing. But then again, the great thing about working with Kobe and athletes like Kobe is that they understood their body already. Like you mentioned. When a rookie comes in, they're brand new. They don't understand the wear and tear that's going to kind of come down to them during the game. They don't understand the long season. Going from only 32 games in college to all of a sudden 82 plus playoffs, it's hard to try to gauge that, especially if you haven't had that experience. players like Kobe, players like, LeBron, they already understand, you know what, I understand my body. I know what I can push through. I know what I can't. I know when I can have to sit down or have to ease up, or where I can actually hit, put the pedal to the metal and let's go type of thing.
Okay, cool. So Taylor Horton Tucker's not a rookie. This is what, third, fourth year. What's up with his thumb? I mean, and the report is very vague. It's like I said, it's no timeline and a thumb injury.
Well, that's the problem with it, is that, as you all know, that's one of the things that makes us different from the animal kingdom, is that we have an opposing thumb, and that's kind of where we grip with everything. If you don't have that thumb, it's going to be difficult for you to just pick up that cup of coffee type of thing, or that glass thing, or anything like that sort. So that thumb is a huge component when you're gripping the ball, when you're passing the ball, when you kind of get the feel of the ball. So any other finger, you can kind of buddy tape and kind of let's go along with it. Most of the times you see players kind of buddy taping it, buddy tape here, buddy tape this. But it's very hard to buddy tape and say, let's go with the thumb, because the thumb itself is a whole different component in it. You need that grip. You need that part. As far as the timeline, I'm guessing that they don't want to put a timeline because they don't want to put pressure on him as far as when to come back. And it varies.
Yeah, so it's something that it's more of a wait and see.
It seems like it's more of a pain threshold, like you said, when he can get that strength back, maybe to actually get the grip and be able to control the ball and such.
Exactly. So once he's able to grip the ball and with minimal pain or tolerable pain, so to speak, along with making the pass. Also, same thing when you make the passes, you kind of do this, and the thumb kind of goes in there. Same thing receive, same thing in shoot, and everything of that sort. Same thing with dribble type of thing. So it's going to come down to like a pain tolerance. Again, it's hard to compare these players with Kobe, because Kobe's pain threshold was crazy. I'll give you a quick story. One of the first times I kind of met Kobe, I was still with the LA Defenders. I come into the locker room. I think he had a swollen ankle. That one day he had like a 30-degree sprained ankle. That thing was like fat, purple, blue, you name it. I was like, this guy's not going to play whatsoever. And I'm just kind of watching them. I'm watching Gary doing the treatment with him, blah, blah, all the stuff. All of a sudden, KB leaves the training room, goes into the locker room, comes back, grabs the shorts, his game shorts. I'm like, that's kind of common. Players bring the game shorts because they don't bring extra clothes. Jumps on the table, gets taped, goes, gets his game day shoes, puts them on, puts on his jersey, goes out, puts up his 30. But that's Kobe.
That's how it goes. Exactly.
That's when I realized this guy's made of he's a beast.
He's a beast. When you were on the sideline watching Kobe go through some of those moments and some of those pains, were you seeing things that maybe the common guy wasn't seeing? Maybe a grimace here and there. You knew, obviously behind the scenes, you're going to know a Kobe better than anybody being there. And obviously he did have a high tolerance for pain, but everyone still feels it. So were you able to tell a little bit more and a little better than the others, or did he hide it just as well from you?
No, sometimes there's certain movements that you can tell that he would start kind of compensating. But the thing about Kobe is that he would kind of figure out different ways how to be out there on the court type of thing. I still remember the time that he had discomfort with the right shoulder, and he couldn't lift his shoulder up type of thing. And he started shooting, passing, doing layups. Exactly, started using the left hand type of thing. That's not normal, so to speak. Most players, when they get their shoulder done, boom, they're done, they're out type of thing. I remember, I'm not trying to call anybody out, and I'm not going to call anybody out right now, but remember we had a player with the Lakers that also sprained their thumb, and during the sideline, he's already yelling, screaming, that's it, I'm done for the year, I'm done for the year, I'm out. I'm like, dude, it's a sprained thumb, calm down, we'll take you out type of thing. So like you said, Mike, it's sometimes when you do put on the Laker uniform, there's certain standards that are expected of you as an athlete. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, and look, I know when things like that happens, you kind of look at it like, dude, I don't even want you. Like, if you're not even role modeling after, like, I'm like, if I look at certain things like this, like, okay, I understand that Kobe, nobody's going to be Kobe ever again.
Sure.
Nobody's going to have his pain threshold, but that player that has zero pain threshold. Like if Kobe's at, how they say, is it 0 to 10? If Kobe was a 10, I need everybody on the team to at least be at the 5. That's just me. Like, 0 to 4, you're
got to be a 5.
You got, what I mean? if your pain level is at a 4, I feel like you got to play, because, and I know that may be unfair for me to say, but that's just my feeling. But let's move on. And look, I guess with Taylor Tucker, because it's a thumb, I'll be if he was playing, I'll be upset if he was turning the ball over, right? So, correct. Okay, I'll give him a pass on that. Malik Monk, he has a right groin injury. They haven't said the grade yet, but they have no. What frustrates me is, and I know why they do it. You've talked about it before, but it's a no time. It's a no time period.
No
You know,
time.
yeah, like oh my gosh, that's just so frustrating. It's like that sounds like forever for me. That sounds like it's not going to happen for another 3 months. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing. But I know they don't want to be held to anything, right?
Correct, and I think the league has changed the rules. They've changed the rules over the last couple of years. I remember when I was there, they wanted you couldn't use the word out indefinitely at some point. They kind of eliminated that. They wanted a specific timeline, so we had to put a timeline. Now I think they've switched that. They allow you to do out indefinitely type of thing. Which what that means is that we don't know exactly when the athlete's going to return. We don't want to put the pressure on the athlete. We want to give them time to kind of heal type of thing. So out, no timeline, meaning they're not sure, but usually as far as, in any muscular strain, and plus they haven't identified whether it's a first, second, or third degree strain. So once they identify that and once they report that, then we'll have a better idea as far as what we're looking at. First degree, we're looking anywhere between 1 to 3 weeks approximately. A second degree can be up to, anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. And obviously a third degree can be a little bit longer, up to like 8 weeks, which is about 2 months or so type of thing. So it's just a matter of waiting to see what they identify the strain as. Now, again, in basketball, hamstrings and groins are very crucial because of the pivoting movement and especially the athlete's position. So you kind of have to be careful. We saw what happened last year with AD. Granted, it was the playoffs. He kind of came back a little bit early. He kind of re-aggravated. Knock on wood, thank God he didn't do anything severe, more damage to it. That he was able to rehab in the offseason and then be back this season as well.
All right. So then now we have this annoys me too. Like Kendrick Nunn. Yeah. So they have announced that he has a bone bruise in his knee.
Yeah.
They're going to reevaluate him in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm like, come on, man. Like, if I hear 2 to 3 weeks, I want him to be back. Why are we waiting 2 to 3 weeks to even reevaluate?
So again, here's the thing I think that we've talked about as far as bone bruises. The one thing about bone bruises are they're very, very unpredictable, and it also depends on what the location of where the bruise is located as far as as far as in the bone type of thing.
Is it actually a bruise in the bone? A bone bruise is actually a bruise in the bone?
Yeah, so it's right on the bone. If you do an MRI, you'll see a little bit of it'll be kind of lighted up, so you'll see some discomfort in there. You see a little bit of swelling in that area, type of thing, just like you get like a little black and blue on the outside, type of thing. So it's a bone bruise in that area, so it's just kind of damaged, so to speak. It's not fractured, it's not broken. There's no stress fracture. It's just a nice little contusion in that area, which is a bruise. But those areas, those bone bruises, are very, very unpredictable. That's the one thing about it that kind of sucks, is that you don't have a timeline. Some players can come back in a couple of weeks. Some players may take a little bit more time, a month or so. I remember Embiid last year, they said he'll be back in 2 weeks. And I remember myself and a couple of my colleagues and some physicians were talking like, yeah, 2 weeks is that's pretty optimistic. But then again, also depends on where the bone bruise is located in the knee itself, type of thing. So that's going to so what they're doing is basically going to wait 2-3 weeks, probably reassess them, get them moving, get them on the bike, get them maybe doing the Ultra G and see how he feels and see if how he responds the next day within 24, 48 hours. And that'll determine whether, okay, you know what, you're on the right path, or we're going to have to just wait and see.
Can a bone bruise accelerate or turn into anything else worse, or is it strictly a painful situation?
Well, one, it's a painful situation, but if it turns into something else, and we're looking at a compensation pattern. Now, is the athlete going to be kind of limping out there? Is the athlete going to be compensating? Can it lead to a muscular strain somewhere else? Can it lead to an ACL? Of course, that's the one thing about that you want to look at. You don't want the player out there kind of limping. You don't want the player out there, hobbling, so to speak, or compensating, because then you can kind of get another injury. So that's the one thing you got to look at. Plus, it's still early into the season. Last thing we want is athletes to create, have a long-term injury and then they're out for the rest of the year or out for like 2-3 months.
So this isn't one of those things where, hey, what's your pain level? It's at a 4. I can play with the bone bruise. It's best to rest it.
Well, it's a combination of both. Yes. So we're going to be looking at the pain level. Once they get to a point where they're comfortable as far as the pain tolerance, then we'll get them out there and play. The second thing that the sports medicine staff is going to be looking for is their movement patterns. When they get out there, are they hobbling? Are they limping? Are they favoring? Are they compensating? Anything of that sort. Once as long as they're not compensating, as long as that they're hobbling and the pain tolerance is good enough for them to be able to play, then he'll be able to out there and be running up and down the court.
All right, man. Well, listen.
I know these weren't the answers you probably wanted to hear today.
No, you know what though, but I appreciate the honesty always. That's why we love you, Marco. It's just frustrating, man. We have this
We're ready. Yeah, this all-star team. We want to get out there. And
we were 0-6 in the preseason. And everybody was saying, "Don't worry about it. It's the preseason." Now we're 0-8. You know what I'm saying right now. Well, it looks like we may win. It's 57 seconds left, and we're up by 3. But it's Memphis, it's not
who played Clippers last night.
Who played Clippers last night? So that standard is not that high. So it's a little frustrating, with everything. And then we have injuries.
Let me ask you, Marco, are you surprised at the Lakers' slow start? Even though it's just the beginning, but are you surprised?
It takes. Here's the thing about it. It takes some time. The way I look at this, remember that more than a couple years ago when they built that All-Star team also with Gary Payton, Karl Malone. People when they saw it on paper, people were like, "Hey, this is not a Madden championship type of thing. We're ready to roll." But it takes time for players to be able to build that chemistry. You can't just put them all in the corner and say, "Let's go roll." If we're mid-season, we're like an all-star break, and we're kind of struggling at this time. I'm like, okay, what at that point? It was Christmas Day. We're like around Christmas Day time.
Yeah.
Okay, it's only 2 games.
Exactly.
They'll start building that chemistry type of thing.
Right. I get that, but I completely get that. But I think that's the reason why we have preseason games that they should be playing in, right? I'm sorry, we're talking to you more about. It's not even about injuries anymore, but when nobody comes and plays a preseason game, not even the first half, or all 3 of them on the court when they can, then it makes it frustrating when we're down by 32 points in the last game.
Well, that's a two-edged sword as you're talking about. Yes, you want the preseason for these players to kind of match and be able to play, but then the other argument is, what would you say if, let's say, Russell Westbrook does play, 30 minutes during preseason 1 game, and then he gets hurt and he's out for like a month? Everybody's like, dude, it's preseason. Why is he out there?
That's true. You're
like, what is he doing? That's the coach is responsible for that.
Right. So
it's a no-win.
Think of these. Why don't we do this? Why don't you think these next 8 games as their preseason?
Okay. All right, cool. So next week,
and then we'll talk about it again.
But the truth is, Marco, that we know in the West that 8 games in the regular season, using them as preseason, losing even a couple games is the difference between first and maybe even 5th or 6th spot in the West. So we can say it's preseason with this team, and then we have to just say, okay, so their goal is just get into the playoffs and kick ass when they're there. But we know, that maybe 1 or 2 games can separate 3 or 4 spots.
You're right. Yeah. Especially in the West. That's the one thing about the Western Conference. It's always been like that for as long as I remember it.
Absolutely. So it does matter. Okay, Marco, thank you so much. Please let everybody know the best way that they can keep up to date with what you've got going on.
Sure. If you guys have any questions, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Marco A. Nunez 17, or you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Evolve Athletic Performance.
Thank you, Marco. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Marco.
Bye. All right. So is it final yet? No?
I
think there's one little timeout, 40 something seconds left. All right. So we're looking, sir. Let's chat just a little bit. Of course, if everybody's sitting there, we do have a special guest coming very, very soon. We have our buddy, Big Baby Jonathan. You all know him. He has his own podcast. He has interviewed several times Dwight Howard. He's gotten Robert Horry. He's a very big Lakers fan, and we'll have him on in just a minute.
Friend of our show, big time. Always has been, and it's been a long time since we've had him on, so we're looking forward to this. But we're talking about the Lakers, and they're a slow start, but I did want to just chat a little bit with you. I did have a chance to make it out to the Lakers opening night. Okay.
And that was nice. It was a great game. Definitely celebrity filled. We lost. Yeah, but
it's never for me.
A win is the only way to have a great game.
I mean, listen, like, why do we go
to win?
Yeah,
to win. Well, you know what? The atmosphere was the first time that I've been in Staples with the atmosphere since COVID, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
So you had all the celebrities there. You had Shorty there. You had Adele. You had Usher, Justin Bieber, Mayweather. Everybody was there. All the normal celebs were there hanging out. So it really just for a second there, or at least that moment until you realized we were losing, you got that old feel of being back in Staples. And for me, that's awesome. So for me, that was great, and that's hopeful for this season. That the sixth man being the fan is back in the building, and hopefully going to get this team and keep this team honest and keep them on the right track, right?
Yeah, I mean, because listen, it really is championship or bust. I mean, there's no reason. We reconstructed this team. So we put these, MVPs. We have 2 MVPs on the court. We have at least 4 Hall of Famers on the court.
72 all-star players.
Yeah,
literally like everyone.
Literally,
you're absolutely right. This is championship or bust. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in our guest here. Let's go ahead and bring in Big Baby Jonathan. Hey, Big Baby, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
No, thanks for coming on. Thanks. It's been a long time since we've had you here. We're in our new digs, our new studio. We're kind of digging it. This is our first week here.
Yeah, It's nice. It's bigger, and new location, new.
It's still hot.
A little bit.
It's still warm. I totally thought. I complained about the other studio. I thought this one was going to be nice and cool, and I was ready. I even brought a sweatshirt. Look, what is it? A sweatshirt over there, thinking it might be cool, and I'm still sweating. So we're gonna work on that.
Hey, well, you know what? Maybe that's because we so upset about how the Lakers are performing, right? We're up by 3 with a couple seconds left in the game. Big Baby, I was talking to you earlier. You said you're not worried about the 0-2 start. Looks like we're about to be 1-2. You're happy with this win?
It's not over yet. John Morant's at the free throw line, about to be down 1. Lakers have the ball with 11 seconds left, so we'll see what happens. But as far as being 0-2, not worried. It's a long season. We're gonna have our highs or lows, and you know what I mean. I'd rather go through it now than in the playoffs.
But baby, we know, and I was just talking to Marco about this. The West is just way too tight. Do we need to consider that we need that home court in that first round this year, or are we gonna at this time in the season going to say we just need to get to the playoffs and we really don't care?
Yes.
Rest LeBron, rest AD, whatever. Once we're locked for the playoffs, we're good. Let's just get there. Is that what Laker fans are thinking of?
Yeah, at this point, man, we got good veterans: Dwight, LeBron, Carmelo. Once we're fully healthy, THT hasn't played yet. Wayne Ellington, THT. All them boys haven't played so far. So we have to see what this team comes together. I say, Laker Nation, relax. Wait till by All-Star break we really know about this team. So wait till the All-Star break we really know about this team if we're a championship contending team.
Look, I just don't want to get Los Angeles Dodgers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we had the team. We had 106 games, and we were supposed to be repeated, and you see what we got. Where we're going there. Like, we have batting champions, we have Hall of Famers, we have all these pieces that we put together, and then everything just fell apart. And that's always my concern when we have just so much talent, the MVPs, the All-Stars, and everybody on there. I think it's so much more about putting together players that actually can know their role.
Buddy Hield.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. Like I personally said,
Buddy Hield.
Listen, and the only reason why we're having the conversation because we're 0-2, I'll be honest with you. So, and I know somebody gonna jump on me, in a couple of weeks. He was going off, but listen, I would have preferred Bradley Beal over Westbrook simply because I felt that he would have been a better fit for the way the team was constructed. Carmelo, I needed Carmelo for sure to come off the bench. I don't need him to start because the ball only goes one direction, and that's to the court, which means we're not running offense. Vogel, I'm just laying everything out. The fact that Vogel said we're going to have an open offense, like what does that mean? Like you're going to have an open offense in the beginning. And then what kills me about that is Vogel's supposed to be a defensive coach, and we're not playing any defense. Like there are a lot of holes in there. You don't see that, Big Baby?
Yeah, I see it at times, man. It's a long season. We'll get through this, man. And we're up 3 with 7.3 left, man. So, hopefully we get a defense stop and win the game. But like it's a long season, long process. LeBron's not worried right now. I'd rather be like fix it now than we have these lapses in the playoffs. You know what I mean? The only time I would panic if we're down 0-3 in the NBA Finals. That's the only time I'm going to be panic, or in the first round or second round. So I'm not worried. You know, we'll get together and
Okay,
we'll
wait,
start winning.
I'm just gonna say this that I'm just kind of tired. We've been here before.
Right.
We've been here before. We're like, oh, it's just the preseason. Oh, it's just this. We have the stars. It's don't worry. It's until this time. Oh, when we get there, we'll judge this. And you know what? I'm just kind of tired of that. I want to just get out and start effing playing. I just want to play. I don't need to be dominating, but I also don't need to see all these hiccups and so forth. The pressure's on, Big Baby. The pressure's on. Look, the trade for Buddy Hield was almost done.
Mm-hmm.
It basically was done. Kuzma thought he was going to Sacramento. Everything was basically a done deal. And then at the last minute, the Westbrook offer came through. That is definitely a LeBron AD move. Let's do Westbrook instead. So the pressure's on. They have to make this work. They have to, because the better fit was Hield. The better talent might be Westbrook, but the better fit was definitely Hield. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, most definitely. Buddy Hield's very talented. Could spread the floor, shoot the three, play that defense, and I get why LeBron and Anthony Davis said do the Westbrook trade. They're trying to form a big three in LA, and they're good buddies. Do you remember when Anthony Davis went up to Westbrook after Washington beat the Lakers? After Westbrook had a dominating game, Anthony Davis went up to Westbrook. I knew he was going to be a Laker. You know what I mean?
That was it. That was the wink.
The wink. You know how LeBron did that to Lonzo Ball back in Cleveland days. So I'm not surprised about Westbrook's start so far. Like, I noticed about Westbrook, he starts off really slow in the beginning of the season and turns it up in the second half of the season. That's how I see Westbrook doing right now. And yeah.
Okay, so Big Baby. I mean, look, I love, first of all, you're a breath of fresh air. I mean, I love your optimism. Tell me what's wrong with this team right now. Like, the first two games, I know you. I've watched you go off. Tell me you haven't been going off, man. And what you saw. Give me what your commentary was. I know you're on here like, oh, we'll be okay. It's only two games. It's a long season. We have 79 more to go. I love all that from you. Like, you're watching game one. What's your reaction to what happened? And then we're down by 32 in game two. Tell me that. Give me that Big Baby for a minute.
Man, we got punched in the mouth, man. By the Warriors. And Phoenix too. We play lazy. Just seems like we felt disinterested at times, and then we're lazy, lackadaisical. But I noticed when I criticize my Lakers, a lot of Laker fans get on me. I criticized the team last year, and I got bashed for it after we lost to Phoenix. I said this after LeBron gave up that defensive play, put his head down, and I tweeted some things, and Laker Nation's mad at me. So I'm just more humble this season.
No, man. No. Listen, look.
Call it as you see it, Big Baby. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know, but a lot of Laker fans get butthurt what I have to say, but
listen,
it's what it is.
Look, I'm sorry, man. That's what Profane Nation is about. We talk from our feeling, from the 300 section, and how we really, really feel. Like right now, look, what are we? We down by one, right?
The up one with 66 seconds.
Oh, you're one? Okay. Yeah, because I'm looking on my phone. So I'm like, man, okay.
They should be able to put away a Memphis team that just played the Clippers last night, and they're on a back-to-back. I mean, come on.
And AD's at the free throw line.
Okay, yeah, great. But see, here's the thing, man. So don't listen. We won't. Well,
I'm going to say it is something to worry about.
We are going to broadcast this, man. But let's be real, man. Like, we look bad. We have these all-stars on there. And then one thing I don't like about LeBron is my constant criticism of LeBron is if he's in a position where he feels like the game is out of hand and there's no chance of coming back,
he gives up.
Then he doesn't
come back on defense.
He doesn't come back and he doesn't play. And I'll give you an example, man. My daughter was on a sorry soccer team, and I'm on the sideline, and my daughter was moping around. I asked her what was wrong with her, and she said, "We're going to lose." And I told her, "You don't be the reason." And then she went and scored a goal and looked back at me. Now, they still lost, but she was not the reason why they lost, right? I need LeBron to not be the reason. If we're down by 32, you know what I mean? Play like you're the MVP. Play like they're calling you the GOAT. Don't just be like, hey, we're not going to get back, and then just play last of days ago. I hate that. You don't be the reason why we lost.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I get on LeBron at times with that, and I saw it when we got blown up by Phoenix. I know LeBron does that a lot. He does it a lot. Like I saw that in the playoffs against Phoenix. You know what I
Yep.
mean? I saw him put his head down, and I
Yep.
said, LeBron, you gotta get back on bleeping defense. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like you gotta get back. And then like I don't understand. We're allowed to criticize these players because this is our team. This is what we want to see. We want to see
It's what we
greatness.
do.
Yeah,
That's
we
the
keep it
game.
real. Yeah. So it's like, if LeBron misses a game-winning shot, you know what I mean? He got to do better. I'm just want to win. I'm tired of this narrative about this team. I just want to win and dominate the league and get this championship.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
I get that, but like I said,
I believe in the preseason that losing is a culture and it's contagious.
Mm.
And if you go 0-6 in the preseason, you're accepting that it's only and then by the time you get into that first game, you can't turn it on.
Of course. Yeah. Bazemore fouled John Morant.
Yep, at 3.
yeah, hey,
There you go.
Yeah, see,
and there you go.
What's going on?
All right, bring us through it. Bring us through. What are your thoughts right now? You just sighed. What were you thinking? Come on. What did you feel?
We want the real.
Bleep it out.
Why the bleep would you foul Kent Bazemore? Like, are you kidding me, man? Like, why would you foul right there? You know what I mean? And if he makes all 3 of those, I guarantee you LeBron's going to pass it to Carmelo for the win. Calling it right now.
All right. Well, unfortunately, they may actually need to do that, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not the way it should be, but okay.
But you know how LeBron is in some situations. He's a point guard first. He's a point guard first mentality when it comes to crunch time. He likes to facilitate, make the right basketball play.
Oh, man.
I see that time and time again when we had Danny Green against Dallas. He drove to the lane, kicked it to the corner.
And Danny Green missed it.
They made it to go to overtime.
That one time.
Oh, that was a different game.
That was that one game. Oh, you mean that one game?
We won. He missed the free throw. Wait. We missed. Yes.
No, he can still miss that last one and put it back in, right?
No, we won.
Yeah, we're gonna win. The fight, the dreaded fight on the bench, Big Baby, between your boy Dwight. What's going on there? Concerns?
No, it's basketball. You saw LeBron and Mario Chalmers do that. On the bench before. It's basketball. It's heat of the moment, and they squashed it right after that happened.
See, that's the problem.
They squashed it. It's basketball, though. You're gonna have moments. You're gonna have moments like that, though.
Okay, did they really squash it? Did they really squash it?
Yeah, really? They did. They did.
I mean, okay, I know that they said, "Hey, we squashed it."
That's what the narrative is going to be, of course.
I know that they squashed it. They had to say they squashed it, but did they really?
That's like 2 kids fighting in school, and the counselor says, "You guys better squash." You're like, "It's squashed," and then you walk out of that friggin' office, and you're like, "All right, man, let's meet after school." I mean, come on, in front of the authorities. Yeah, it's squashed.
Yeah, because neither one of them wanted to get suspended, right?
Yeah. But what do you think? What do you think was said? What do you think Anthony Davis got pissed off?
First of all, you have to look at the people that's involved, right?
Yeah.
And you have to, I feel the main reason why that happened is because Dwight Howard is always emotional and always getting in his feelings, right? I think Dwight Howard was annoyed that he didn't get put on the top 75 list, right?
Yeah, he was.
And AD, got on the top 75 list. And Dwight Howard, probably, in this maturity level, probably wouldn't let that go, right? And then I think it kind of
he's mad about his 2K score,
right? You know what I mean? Like stuff that you shouldn't worry about. But I really believe that's probably a part of it. And AD probably didn't say anything to him, but he just was up about that, and then it was frustrated about the game, and then that's what we got. Do I think that is squashed? I think it's a 50-50 chance. I mean, I think that at minimum, they're going to make sure that it doesn't get played in the public eye anymore. So, and as long as it doesn't get played in the public eye, therefore in the public eye, it looks like they're squashed. What do you think about that, Big Baby?
Yeah, I think it's squashed, but it happens. You're going to have your moments. You're going to have altercations. But I feel like if that would happen behind the scenes, it would probably never got talked about, but it was on live television. You know what I mean? And
I'm sure it happens in practices all the time.
You probably would hear stories about the late great Kobe going through it with people behind the scenes. Yeah. Jordan too. Everybody.
They were brutal. This was something much different than that. I think.
Yeah, but it's competitive, and it happens. I'm not worried about it. It's not going to affect us or anything. I'm chilling about it.
Well, they know each other. They've played together, so they know each other, and they know
First
each other.
win of the season. Let's go.
All right, finally. All right.
Yeah. All right, cool. So now we won. It's official.
1-2.
Lakers are 1-2. So what's their streak in the next 5 games? Where are they gonna go? Do you have the teams that they're?
Are they going to start rolling, or is this just a anomaly win?
It's just one of those wins you can learn from, get better against San Antonio. Watch film, get better.
So are we beating San Antonio?
Yes.
Okay. Then who's next after that?
Cleveland? Oklahoma City.
Okay. What are we doing?
We're beating them.
Okay. Them. So now you're saying that we're going a 3-game winning streak.
Yeah.
And now the Lakers are 3-2.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'm with it.
Big Baby, I got a question for you. All these new players on the Lakers, besides perhaps Westbrook, who are you most excited that they signed?
Malik Monk. I love his game, his tenacity.
Really?
Yeah. He can score at will, shoot that mid-range pad defense. Also, too, I like Austin Reeves,
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I like Austin Reeves' defense, He came in the game, made some good plays while he had the opportunity, got that deflection, leaked out, made the layup, and then cut down. LeBron threw him the ball for the layup.
Right. Now for nostalgia purpose, who's your favorite pick from this new team?
Like as far as players, probably
Players
Carmelo.
who came back.
Oh,
no, players who came back. Yeah, there's so many.
Dwight,
Dwight? Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have to say I'm Trevor Ariza, even though we haven't seen him yet. But I'm a little bit more Trevor Ariza, even though I do like Dwight, and I'm very happy he's back. He should have never left. That was such a Dwightism, a Dwightmare again last year. I think that was on him as well. But he seems to be having fun again, and he's back in the building, so that's a good thing.
So let me ask you, Big Baby. I mean, this is just me. I'm thinking, I don't want Carmelo in the starting lineup. I want him coming off the bench, and I only want him to, if we have a lull in points, for him to come out there and get maybe 10 points in the bunch and then go back sit on the bench. I don't want him to be an intricate part of the offense. I just want him to be a scorer at times when we need it. Well, what do you think about that?
He had a big 28 points tonight. He did his thing. There was times where the offense was struggling. He threw it to Carmelo and he was scoring. So I don't mind him coming off the bench doing what he did tonight. I love that energy from Carmelo, rebounding and everything, man. I like that energy from him tonight. And, first couple games, he's doing good too. 16 points right there. And everything's good on Carmelo's front. And he had a good game tonight, 28 and 2 blocks. 2 blocks tonight.
How many assists?
Probably 0.
When you pass
probably
the ball,
0.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, when you pass the ball to Carmelo, it only get passed one way. It's towards the backboard.
Yeah.
So So let's get in the Westbrook a little bit. So we got Westbrook, and what I feel is that Westbrook needs to. I mean, obviously because of the dynamic of everything, Westbrook has to start, along with LeBron.
Yeah.
But I feel that when Westbrook is more effective if he plays with the second unit and LeBron on the bench. And I feel that when the Westbrook goes out, Rondo should step in and, kind of play along with LeBron. What do you think about, how effective Rondo is going to be on this team? And what do you think about my thoughts about, how we could utilize Rondo?
I like that 100%, man. But Rondo he's going to probably have that Jared Dudley role this season. I feel like the Dudley role where he's just being like a veteran coach on the sideline, and he'll play, but I don't want them to play Westbrook or Rondo together. We saw that for the first 2 games. It didn't work. You know what I mean? I didn't like it. But as far as like Westbrook, man, or Rondo, he's going to contribute down the line towards middle of the season, man. Along the playoff rounds coming out very soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Big Baby, you can stick around with us for just another minute or so, another segment?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
No.
All right, don't go anywhere. Just hang out right there, okay? We'll be right back. We're going to go ahead and take a break, everybody. If you know the Profanity Nation podcast, and we're part of a network and part of a family of shows, That family of shows is the Good News Radio. The Good News Radio and Podcast Network is where you can access and find some of the best shows and personalities in the business, live and on demand, right at your fingertips. It's simple. Just download the Good News Radio app and enjoy all of your favorite shows on the network. It's really great. We're one of the shows. We're just one. Just imagine. I don't even know how many now. They have 3 different channels. They have the sports, talk radio, and now
They have
Latin.
over 25 different shows.
25 different shows, and they're all excellent, wonderful talent. So be sure to download the Good News Radio app. You definitely want to do that. Also, if you happen to be in the Chatsworth, California area, you definitely want to stop by the Pure Life Alternative Wellness Center. You may see their information scrolling along the bottom there. They are located in Chatsworth, California, and they've got just about everything you need to chill out, to hang out, and to relax. Go on, stop by there, get all your products. You'll be happy. I promise you will. That's Pure Life Alternative Wellness Center in Chatsworth, California. You can reach them at purelifesfv.org. And of course, we are the official podcast of the Los Angeles Lakers fan club on the Clubhouse app. They have over 9,000 members. They, of course, were riding high and riding large with their Los Angeles Lakers tonight and helped bring that win. So go ahead, and if you want to be part of the show, if you want to comment, if you want to join live, you can do that on the Clubhouse app. Just go ahead to the Clubhouse app and sign up for the Los Angeles Lakers Clubhouse room. It's free, and join us every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. All right, let's get back to our guest. We are so happy to be joined today by our friend and confidant, our buddy, Big Baby Jonathan. Hey, Big Baby, thank you again for joining us and sticking around for this next segment. We really appreciate it. So now we can restart the show and say that the Lakers are currently 1-2 and say, okay, how do you feel about the win? Go ahead, please.
Hey, I feel great. Hey, but Money Mike, he had 1 assist. Carmelo Anthony had 1 assist.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 assist, man. Hey,
That's
let's
something.
go. And 2 blocks, too. So,
That's playing
go.
defense, at least.
yeah.
All
But
right.
overall about the game, I liked it. It wasn't pretty, but still take the win. LeBron played 40 minutes, but he had 19 points, but the others followed. Like, the others contributed. Carmelo had 28, 12 from Malik Monk, 22 for 80, and 13 points and 13 assists from Russell Westbrook. So there are spurts where it's working, but I feel like this game is going to start us to get going, man. Memphis was coming in undefeated, so you know what I mean? But the ESPN Undisputed is going to say it doesn't count. Watch tomorrow. They're going to say it doesn't count, but Brooklyn lost.
Coming off of a back-to-back with the Clippers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, but the Clippers are 0-2, and nobody's talking about that.
I mean, that's what
because no one talks about the Clippers, period. So no one's talking about it because no one ever talks. They could be 35-0, and nobody's going to talk about the Clippers.
Yeah.
Hey,
Clippers.
Shout out to We Done Make the Rules. They're on the TGN network. They was talking about they went to a Clipper game, and everything they were talking about was how it's fun. All the other festivities were the Condor.
That's what I always ask when someone says I went to the Clipper game. I go, "Did you see the Condor?"
Yeah, right. they talk about what the Condor. Oh yeah, he jumped off the
he did a dunk,
trampoline, and he did a dunk. Like we never talk about the actual game.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And then of course our good friend Clipper Darrell's out there, and he's not talking about his team. He's talking about, oh no, the Lakers are 0-2. Yeah, well,
of course, he doesn't like to take accountability for his team being trash.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
Not surprised.
But let me shout out to the B man on the other on We Don't Make the Rules, man, because he really enjoyed himself at the game, even though the Clippers lost.
Well, I enjoyed myself opening night too, even though the Lakers lost.
Yeah, well, yes, I don't. Hey, Big Baby, am I the only one? If I go to a game and I pay my hard-earned money and the Lakers lose, then I feel like I should never gone to that game.
Yeah, because he's a passionate Lakers fan.
That's just your bad luck, man.
No, I'm not bad luck. I'm not bad luck, but it's not a good game if we don't win. Like that's just me.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Big Baby?
Yeah, I agree 100% because I'm going to the Lakers-Kings game in January 4th. So start the new year off strong, going to see Lakers play. Finally, since 2 years now. Last time I went was Lakers versus Rockets. LeBron did that crazy dunk.
Okay, so it's been a couple of years since you made it there. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't wait. Can't wait, man. I'm pumped up. I'm gonna get my new Laker gear, probably my Big Baby merch out very soon for that as well. So it's gonna be
Nice.
fun times. It's gonna be fun times at Staples Center again.
Awesome. Yeah, we can't wait. Again, it was exciting. Get there early. Get there
Yeah.
early for sure because the the preliminary checks for your either vaccine card or I guess your test definitely adds to the entry time that it takes to get in there. And then also I'm not too fond of their new kiosk style ordering at the concession stands.
Yeah.
Instead of having actual people taking your order, it's a kiosk. So it's almost like everybody's sitting there at that one soda machine that has 1,000 choices.
Yeah.
Everyone has to scroll through one by one to find what they. Oh yeah,
Right.
yep. So if you just want nachos, you're scrolling through past the and nobody. So it takes everybody longer.
There's no search bar. There's no search bar. You can type in nachos.
Go to the FanDuel or wherever it is, the Doghouse, the bar in All Star Plaza, and get your food and drinks there. It's better. It's actually mixed drinks too. Just go there. You can order.
I'll probably eat before the game, probably at BJ's or something.
Yeah, definitely. I recommend grabbing a bite before go to El Cholo.
I guess one thing that would be cheaper.
Yeah,
for sure.
If nothing else,
that's for sure. So but I think you'll enjoy it a lot. Are there any other teams out there, Big Baby, that you're keeping an eye on this year, or maybe impressed with, or think you might be impressed with as the season goes on?
Charlotte Hornets.
Really? Okay.
Very talented. You know, they're what is it, Miguel Bridges, or what's his name? Number 0. Forgot his name. He's playing really well. He beat Brooklyn last game. He had 30 points.
Yeah, I think that's Miguel. Yeah,
Miguel Bridges.
I like them. I mean, they're definitely exciting to watch. But it's hard for me to like even really root for another team or watch a full game unless it's the Lakers. But I get what you said. I definitely love watching the highlights though.
Do you think it's going to be Nets Lakers in the finals?
Nope, it's going to be Lakers Heat in the NBA Finals.
The Heat?
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. So you don't think Milwaukee is going to come back? I mean, Giannis got a jump shot.
Yeah.
Actually, my bad. I take that back. I got Lakers in Milwaukee.
Okay.
I'm about to say, man.
I jumped the gun. Milwaukee, I would think, is the next favorite. The Nets is the flashy favorite. But if you're truly studying basketball, I think you'd have to go with the Bucks.
Yeah. But as far as like Brooklyn, like, does Kyrie come back? Like, I don't know in that situation. Because I saw a report that they're entertaining trade calls for Kyrie. You know what I mean? That's what Wojnarowski was talking about.
To, just in case something comes across the board, but I don't see that happening. What about you, Money Mike? You think Kyrie's going anywhere? I know you've talked about it, but you don't see that happening.
Look, it's very interesting, the whole dynamic behind that, because I'm actually really disappointed with the NBA in regards to this, because the fact that Bradley Beal has made the same decision as Kyrie, and I'm not judging either,
and doesn't
right
suffer
or wrong,
at all,
and he has no consequence just by where he's employed versus Kyrie. I think that's kind of unfair for the NBA to kind of allow these types of things to happen. I think it should be fair, like straight across the board. If I'm an owner, though, look, I really, and if I have KD, if I have Harden there, I know this could be controversial, and everybody says I'm crazy, but I think I probably would just, I would probably just trade him for Ben Simmons and just go ahead and roll. I think Ben Simmons kind of got the raw deal in Philly.
What position did he play?
He's a guard.
Oh,
yeah. He would never be guard on my team. See, here's the thing about Ben Simmons. The thing about Ben Simmons was when he became a forward, and that's when he had to kind of get like a shot and all that type of stuff. He plays great defense. I'm a person that you have to play when you bring players on. You have to play to their strengths.
Yes, I agree.
So I agree. Kyrie, I love Kyrie. He has great handles. He has a full game. The thing that's probably lacking, if he has a weak spot, it is defense. Defense, we all know, wins championships. I know if I got Ben Simmons on there, I know he can't do a jumper, but he can make a layup. He
can move the ball.
He can move the ball definitely, and he plays great defense. And listen, we got Harden, we got KD. Like, come on now, like he's not going to be fighting.
Do you
over
really
the ball.
need that offense?
Yeah, he's not going to be really fighting over the ball. And then look, this is no longer a headache, right? Because look, they got blown out. They played Milwaukee. That's who they're going to be going against in the Eastern Conference Finals, right?
Mhm.
And
They have to get
it was
past.
like what 127, 103 or something. So look, I mean, I mean, listen, I love Kyrie. I would hate to trade him, but I need, you got to
need
be
a
on the
full-time
court.
player.
Yeah, I need somebody to be on the court. So for me, I would trade him. He's, everybody has a bad taste with Kyrie right now in New Jersey. Ben Simmons definitely has a bad taste in Philly. So let's just make both the people happy and just keep on going. What do you think?
Yeah, just do the trade up Ben Simmons for Kyrie, move forward. But how would Ben Simmons fit with Brooklyn Nets?
I think it would be. Listen, I think if I was a coach, I would say, okay, Ben, your strength is defense, and moving the ball. And I would run offense like that for him, right? Because he doesn't necessarily have to have the ball. We just need him to play defense. Harden doesn't, right? So I'm putting him on Harden's man, and that's what his role is going to be. That's just kind of how I see it. It's because if you do that, then that then Harden knows he's able to do and pop up any shot he wants to do. KD can do whatever he wants to do, and then your main role is to move the offense and play defense.
Yeah, most definitely. And you said Ben Simmons can score. He pass up a wide open dunk in the playoffs?
Yeah, again,
he's not looking to score, but technically
he should score. I said those highlights on Instagram. He'll be dominating, shooting threes, and it's like, where's that in the game?
Yeah, well, when there's defense, you can't do that. Okay, money.
Yeah,
when you really think that that's a fair, straight up trade, Ben Simmons for Kyrie?
I do not think it's a fair trade. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think that now I have an available player.
And that's at least you're accepting calls,
right? I at least have an available player, right? And because if not, now I don't have an available player. I have somebody that I'm on the hook to play. I'm not sure what his contract is, but it's probably over $30 million.
Oh,
and I I have a roster spot that I can't go get another player for, and he's not even interacting with the team. So even look,
not by his choice,
right? But here's the thing, though. So let's look at this.
That matters, right?
Yeah,
it's not by his choice,
right? No, I get that. It really had nothing to do with Kyrie, but this is literally like what the situation is, right? So what I'm saying is this: let's say in the NBA at the beginning of the year says, you know what, that rule will allow you to play. Now he's been gone 35 games. Now he has to try to get acclimated into what they're doing. Because if you look at it, even last season, they only played 8 games or 10 games in the whole season
together. Yeah.
So they still haven't got acclimated, and now they're getting acclimated in the middle of the season. And I'm literally just giving a possible scenario that it probably isn't going to happen. So for me, I would just get rid of the headache, bring Ben Simmons over there, and try to work with him and see what he could get me.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Money Mike on that one, 100%. There's also another player I feel like Philly should go after. If they could persuade Sacramento, just call Sacramento and give me De'Aaron Fox and call it a day for Ben Simmons. What do you guys think about that?
They're not going. Well, I don't see Sacramento doing that because they're not getting that 2 point back in return. They may be able to swing Hield since Hield was already or something. Is Hield gone? Is he still there? He stayed, right? Yeah. So, but I don't see them getting rid of because Simmons isn't going to fill that spot.
No, but Buddy Hield's more likely to get traded at the deadline. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're going to wait because he'll go to a team that's more desperate for shooting to get into the playoffs and so forth.
I
think you're right.
I think whoever trades for Ben Simmons, they have to say we need more defense.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
100%. Yep. I agree.
You're our big defensive guard.
right. I mean, this is what we're going to use you for, and but you need a coach that's going to be able to come to him and say this is what your role, can be. Because look, I think that's one of the biggest problems with when people make trades, they take all these name brand players. I call them name brand players, right?
Yeah.
But they're not really or putting together a team where people have their certain roles and stuff. Like, look, Dennis Rodman made it to the Hall of Fame because he was a rebound champion and played defense.
Stuck to what he knew.
Right. And literally you saw like, when Michael Jordan, they discussed it and they're like, yeah, we just need you to go and do this, man. If you do this, we can handle everything else. And people just played their roles. Yep. Now it's all about just, you're a great player, so you're MVP, so let's put you on here. But it doesn't work because, it is like it's only one ball, so people have to play their roles. Like, look, if you look at Milwaukee. Milwaukee, it was great because they actually have 3 players on there making over $30 million, right? But you're talking about they don't have a big 3, but they in essence do.
Yep. By salary standards.
They have a big 3. But look, Giannis was a guy that was supposed to get the ball and dominate, and then everybody else played their role. That's how they won the championship. When you put all these other players together, it makes it a mess.
Hey, Big Baby, you watch the show a lot. You know that we end each episode with a segment that we call Money Mike's Out of Bounds. And Money Mike is going to go ahead. Hopefully he's got one ready for us.
I do. And I would love to hear Big
All right.
Baby.
So what Money Mike's going to do, Money Mike's going to go ahead and tell us about a situation, topic, or such. And he just wants to know if his opinions or thoughts on that topic are in bounds or out of bounds. Money Mike, you're on.
Hey, Big Baby Jonathan, man. I'm going to put you on the spot with this, but I'm just letting you know. So, and we are being recorded, and you cannot plead the fifth. So I was thinking about this when I was coming in, and the Lakers are 0-2. And again, I'm not trying to panic. I know it's early in the season.
Yeah.
I think that we still have 100% chance to win the championship. But I knew you was coming on, so I wanted to ask this question. I was thinking about our last year's team. And who we had on there and what the narrative was on that team. And we, on that last team that we had, and who we had and who we didn't. Like, we didn't have Carmelo, we didn't have Westbrook, we didn't have Nunn and Dwight and all these other people. But we were in line to win a championship. And the reason, and the narrative was, before all the offseason trade stuff, was that if AD wouldn't have gotten hurt, and if this wouldn't have happened, that we would have won the championship. Am I out of bounds to say that the Lakers should have not made of all these moves for this team and stuck with the last year's team and try to run it back? Because I think last year's team is a better team, than this team right now, based on chemistry as well as everybody knowing their role. So am I out of bounds to say that this last year's team could win the championship, more likely to win the championship than this year's team?
No, your statement's good. I agree with you 100%, man. So it's inbounds. But I agree too, man, because I know we won a championship in the bubble. We should have just kept that good veteran team with Avery Bradley, Danny Green, Dwight, Rondo, Caruso, Kuzma, KCP. In fact, if we would have didn't jump the gun and get the players that we had, Dennis Schroeder, Andre Drummond, all of them, I think we would have went back to back if we would have had that old school veteran roster coming back, guaranteed.
Here's the thing, though, guys. I think here's the thing. You're out of bounds. The reason you're out of bounds. The reason why you're out of bounds is because it's not how this team is designed. It's not how this team was put together. This team was put together with a bunch of 1-year, 2-year contracts. So each year you have to turn those over for some sort of asset. You have to turn it into a KCB. All these 1 or 2 year deals, when you're surrounding a LeBron and an AD, which is how the team continues to be built, that in itself necessitates turning over the squad almost every season. And it's not great. it's not great, and it always makes for some kind of, some nervousness and so forth. But that's how the team is designed.
Yeah, see, I just feel like why blow up a team that was considered to be a championship team? That's just my question. That literally is like my question. Not that I hate this team. I'm not saying I hate this team.
No,
I'm just saying we were a championship caliber team, and we literally blew this team up. And I just feel like we should have probably just tried to run it back again without any injuries.
I agree with you 100%, man, because, like you said, players played their role, big parts in this that championship run in 2020, and it's unfortunate. And we have this team what we have now, and we got to just roll with the flow and keep it pushing. Marathon continues.
Hey, I appreciate you agreeing with me on the record. You think that last year's team could win the championship?
Yeah.
All right. Big Baby, can you do us a favor? First of all, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a long time coming, and we really like having you back. But can you let everybody know what the best way is to follow Big Baby Jonathan and keep up to date with what you've got going on?
Okay. Follow me on Instagram, Big Baby Jonathan _. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Big Baby Sports Podcast. I talk about Lakers pregame, postgame show, anything related Laker news. Money, Mike Simpson. Thank you so much for having me on, man. It's a pleasure. Yeah, we got to do a show on my end. We got to do Big Baby Sports.
Absolutely. Anytime invite us, we're happy to do it.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. So that was great. Big Baby was awesome. This time has a lot of thoughts, of course.
Yeah. I love Big Baby, take on things because he's like us. He is feeling. You know what I mean? Like
goes off of his gut. He just says what's on his mind.
Right. And that's amazing because that's how it should be. It's like I don't like the generic answers and it should be that and according to analytics. No, man, I'm looking at what I see on the court. And right now, when I'm sitting on the court, there's a whole lot of good players that don't know how to play with each other.
And you know what? I'm not going to buy that it takes a while for them to get going because they do this every 4 years for the Olympics and go and kick ass.
Well, look, and also
they put all these great players together and somehow they mesh real quick.
Well, let's look at it like this, right? Isn't Carmelo and LeBron good friends?
Mm-hmm. So, they've been playing together a long time.
So you mean to tell me they haven't been playing together and want to pick up games or worked out together? Same thing with Westbrook. Come on, man. Y'all should already know each other, but hey.
Exactly.
But you know what? Hey, big shout out to my. See, I'm getting on we didn't make the rules because B was always, he's a Clipper fan. I just want to make for the record, Lakers are 1-2 and the Clippers are 0-2. So shout out to Big B. Lakers are ahead of them. Now we're in 12th place, but they're 13th. Lucky 13 for the Clippers.
All right, everybody. Great episode. Next week is Halloween. We will not be here. We'll be playing an encore presentation, but we will be back the following week with our boy Stat Pat and full squad, and we'll be ready to go, right, Money?
Then we have a special guest that week, too.
Oh, we do. That's right. Maggie.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a wonderful guest that week. It's going to be great. November 7th, Maggie. She's a doctor. She's wonderful. We'll get some great info from her, and she actually there's a formula actually for determining the likeliness that a player will get injured. Mm-hmm. So you can definitely use that in fantasy.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So thank you very much. We'll be back in a couple weeks, but be sure to tune in next week for an encore presentation. Happy Halloween. Stay safe and boo.
Profanity Nation.
A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.